apparently in this life? Aren't you supposed to like evolve into something? I don't feel more woke. Do you feel more woke right now?
Well, I think this too shall pass.
Are you just going to do like random Zen statements?
It was
Okay, you've
it
evolved. That's what
was
you're saying. You're saying right now, that was a past life. This is your new life, and you have evolved, but I haven't.
I was reliving a wonderful moment that we shared.
Okay, what was that?
This too shall pass.
Oh, right. Yes, I totally forgot that joke. I blanked. Past trauma. Okay. This too shall. Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good reference. That one needs probably a little bit of work.
See, Brent, you made an impact.
On you.
An impact was made.
Yeah, there's a ripple that went out from that joke from last episode. If you haven't seen it, don't.
Waves.
Yes, the waves. That's a little chaos theory there, like the butterfly, the two shell joke.
Well, actually, I mean, I feel like a lot of people may have seen it because we got some news that this last week our view counts on YouTube have taken a little spike.
Oh, tell me.
So, well, a couple of pieces of big. Should we reveal the big news?
Yeah, go for it. Go do the big news.
So the big news here, as we're about to go into episode 133 on this fine day of March 9th, 2021, just to mark the occasion. Drum roll, please. We have officially hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. 1,000 subscribers. Brent, do you remember when we had like 7?
I remember we were in single digits less than a year ago. Yes, I do remember.
In fact, it was pretty close. When was episode 1?
It was, I think, in March.
Because I was going to say, because I started March 8th. I remember it was a very important day.
Yeah.
And
holy cow! Yesterday was your anniversary.
Surprise!
Oh, happy anniversary, man!
And I feel like it was within my first 2 weeks of starting that we were just like, let's go live.
Yeah, it was just like this pandemic. We need to do this. We want to grow. We want to help people grow, and yeah, that's where this came from, man.
Do we need to like get the popcorn out and revisit some of those old episodes?
That's all yeah. In fact, for this entire next year, all we're going to do is do reactions against our old episodes. Okay, that's it. That's our entire content platform from now on, is just revisiting old episodes and reacting to it.
I feel like my hair is all the material that you need.
Oh yeah. I'm pissed off because you got a haircut and I lost the opportunity to say, hey, did you get a haircut? And then you could say,
no.
No, correct. And come on, man. Dad joke, come on. You got this. You got this. You can do this. You've been with me for a year, Arthur. You can do this.
There'll be hell to pay.
No, man. No. Okay. Just remember this. This is super important. When you have to say this. No. I got them all cut. Okay. Please just remember that. If there's one thing you remember from our working relationship here, the show, is you have to get that one down. Okay. Especially when you have long hair and then you got it all gone. Like that was like a perfect setup. Nope. All right.
But I do think there will be hell to pay for this one.
There will be hell to pay.
Oh, where'd your audio go?
Where did my... Okay, hold on. I'm really messing things up. I did the wrong thing. Got that. There we go. Next. Can you say something?
Hello. David Blackmore says 1K.
Perfect.
Woohoo. Thank you, David. You were the number one kicking it off.
Okay, dude, it's not 11:11, and so we are now lying liars if we don't start right now. We're even more lying liars if we don't start right now. So let's start right now. Okay?
You've tuned in to COVID Marketing with Brent Kobayashi and Arthur Tutt, the show to support small business not just to survive, but to thrive.
All right, we are live with COVID Marketing episode number 133. That's right, we're supporting you to not just to survive, but to thrive. Like 1 year almost and counting, every Tuesday, kind of at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions on marketing or business or whatever, you let us know in the comments wherever you fine folks are watching this. I am Brent Kobayashi, president of Kobayashi Zeitguys, and we are a marketing agency here in Toronto, Canada, I think still. And with me is Mr. Arthur Tutt of the KZ.
And if it's time to get that once a year haircut, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notify button so you never miss a 1K show.
Okay. Dude,
shout out to David Blackmore.
You know, I'm just going to say that, well, you know, sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. Okay. Now, before we get into the show, we got a good show, marketing show. We're going to talk about some SEO stuff, which is always exciting and interesting. Just a quick thank you to Tracy Shea Porter for some really super kind words, for being on the show and telling us about improv and how it can get into business and how the improv mindset. So if you haven't seen that episode, search the back ones, look for Tracy Porter. She's the president and CEO of Yes And. They bring improv into businesses, culture changes, mindset changes, ways to think about problems. Not even problems, ways to approach life, which just can transform businesses. She's phenomenal. Anyways, what she said was, as we announced our 1K stuff, so that she was part of, woohoo, this is a great resource with tons of valuable information for business. That's the quote. We're not saying it, she's saying it, which means it must be true.
Must be true.
All right, so
SEM Rush. You want to talk a little bit about SEO?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's tell us a little bit about this tool. Mm-hmm.
So let me pull up and share my screen here.
Okay. So what is SEM Rush?
Don't ask me what it stands for because I don't know.
Well, SEM is search engine marketing. I don't know what Rush stands for. Yes.
So SEM Rush is a tool that we use for SEO, search engine optimization. And at a high level, I mean, this tool does a lot. It's one of those tools that kind of does a little bit of everything. But what I want to start with here is you can create a project dashboard, right? So you pick your website. In this case, we're talking about kobayashi.ca. You pick your website and it gives you a whole different dashboard of different things that you can look at and review, update, improve, right? So it gives you a site audit. So it looks at your site and it tells you, how well is your site built? Are there changes, improvements that you can make? Your position tracking. So different keywords, how well are they ranking in Google organic search results? And you can compare yourself against any direct or specific competitors that you want to compare against. You have the on-page SEO tracker, the social media tracker, the brand monitoring. So if you want to track, it's kind of like Google Alerts, but if you want to track like brand mentions, so this will give you a heads up. Is anybody in social or the world talking about your brand? Backlink audit. It gives you an overview of the toxic domains. So these are potentially spammy, usually illegal adult gambling sites that might link to your site, which Google might frown upon. So this gives you some tools to fix that. Gives you ideas for link building, ideas for PPC, organic traffic insights, and analyzes your content. So,
whew, okay.
That was a mouthful.
So now, for those of you who are watching this and aren't really into SEO yet, and are maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed, let's just back up a little bit and just give like a super brief, high level, what are we talking about?
Okay, so I think in the simplest terms, what I could say, search engine optimization is about designing your website, and more specifically, designing the words that you put on your website so that when somebody goes to Google and they search for a thing, in our case, that might be, Toronto marketing agency, right? So whatever your business is, I think typically for what would be most relevant for most people listening to this is what is your business industry and what is your location, right? So if I'm looking for a marketing agency in Toronto, if I'm looking for a florist in Vancouver, if I'm looking for a personal injury lawyer in Edmonton, that kind of idea, right? So it's about designing your website so that when somebody goes to Google and they search for those terms, your business is coming up ideally at the top of Google. And if it's not coming up at the top of Google, this is a tool that helps you to figure out why and helps you to get there.
Gotcha. Okay. So in other words, Google's a search engine. People use it to search, to find things. Sometimes they use it to find businesses or services that they want fulfilled or things they want to buy. And as a business, usually you want to be found. So in some respects, for those who might be a little bit more ancient, it's like the yellow pages. You had the yellow pages, you open up and you look in the directory, I want to get, a plumber or whatever it happens to be.
Why was I also thinking of plumber?
Were you thinking of, I don't know why plumber is always the first example that comes to mind.
Great example.
Now, one thing that I would go through, so what it is it's taking your website and your online presence and optimizing it so that it appears in searches that you think indicate that person that's searching would want your business, your services, your product, whatever it is that you're selling. Another way of thinking about it, and this is the way I really would encourage everybody to sort of consider, is all the tools, like something like SEM Rush, helps you understand the language of the internet, the language of your potential audience. So what are they using? And therefore, what can you say on your website that communicates in that language and supports Google understanding that this person should be connected to you? And therefore, Google is going to say, great, you are going to provide a valuable service to the person who's searching based on what we can see about what you're doing on your website. Also, a few other things, which is some of the stuff you talked about, what other websites that are relevant are thinking about you, your website, and then it gets into social. It gets very complicated. Like there's a lot of different factors. And so SEM Rush helps you get through and understand all of that in a easier way rather than just guessing and just putting a bunch of stuff on the website.
There it is.
Doing things. Okay, so go for it.
Couldn't
Why don't we
have said
dig
it
into
better
this a little
myself.
bit and let us know what you think is the most
So let's start with the
interesting.
Let's start with the position tracking tool, because I think this is the thing that'll it's the most easily understood and most something that people would find interesting, because a lot of people want to know, okay, I've been writing blogs, I've been putting out content on my website. I don't know, is it doing okay? Am I ranking for something? How do I know what I'm ranking for? Right? There's a lot of questions about that. So what we've done is we've set up the position tracker. And basically what you do is pick the keywords that you're interested in ranking for and understanding, the keywords that you want to track.
Yeah.
Right? So we've set this up now with a set of words for Kobayashi, compared against a couple of other competitors in the marketing space. And so we have a whole long list here. How many? 119 keywords
Yeah.
on this list, and we can see, okay, what is their position today
Yeah.
on Google?
Yeah.
So like, let's test
So,
this. Let's test this
sorry,
out
before
live.
you do this, no, go back to this. Go back to it for a second. We'll test it live in a sec. So SEM Rush has looked up and found words that it already knows that we rank for.
So no,
Because
in this case, I've specified the keywords that we want to track.
why have you specified 12th fret and Clear Life magazine as
we're
a
ranking for
keyword we
them.
want to track?
I pulled these from
okay.
I pulled these from our Google Search Console.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. So these are, some of these words are clients or past clients. And some of them I'm like, what? Nanite Updater? Okay, awesome. We're ranking for it. Yay.
Nanite Updater.
We've got the Nanite Updater biz coming. How have we not capitalized on that? Okay. So fine.
So
what were you about to do there?
So for example, just to make this real, so we have this Clear Life magazine. So SEM Rush says we're in position 4. So if I pull up a new incognito window here.
And you're using incognito because?
Because I want to make sure that it doesn't include any past search history, cookies, any of that. Because
you don't want Google to tailor it for you.
Exactly.
Because it already knows you. You want Google to go straight off the top. Okay, gotcha.
And so what we've got here, see position number 4, Kobayashi Clear Life magazine.
Now, some of you might be thinking, who cares? Like we did this website. It was a good project. Why do you care about that? And we just literally got a lead the other day because a person liked a different website very much. They, in this particular case, went to that other organization, and that other organization said, oh, go talk with Kobayashi Zeitguys because they did it for us. But if you rank in the search, they could have just potentially come to us without needing to go through the hassle of trying to find somebody, connect with them. Even does that person still work there that we were dealing with, all of that kind of stuff. So you can actually, it's a good idea to have your past clients. In this case, it's a portfolio/case study that we have on our website related to a client. So, okay, cool. Neat that we're ranking there. All right.
And so what this lets us do is track over time, and it'll show you, from last week, have we improved? Have we gone up? So which keywords are getting better? Which ones keywords are going down? And to take it a step further, we can also see across location. Because again, keep in mind, Google is always subtly tailoring the responses it shows based on where the person is. So what we can actually do is set up in terms of our location. So right now we're seeing results just generically across Canada, but we can specify, we can see, okay, in Vancouver versus in Toronto versus in Montreal.
Let's look at Toronto.
How well do we rank? So what I've done here on a different page.
All right, you're all prepared here.
All prepared. What can I say? So for these 3 different sub searches, if you will, they have a slightly different and narrowed search focus. So I picked specifically, where did you want to go? Montreal?
No, Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Let's see if this will work here. Okay. Okay. So in Toronto, we have 2 keywords here that were specific. So what I did here is I picked 10 keywords specifically that were marketing related.
Okay, good.
And so for questions to ask about accessibility, we're now in position 12. Apparently that's down 3 spots. We used to be on the first page.
Wow.
So we need to fix that.
All right.
For marketing agency, coming up position 68. So we need to tighten that one up.
Nice. Okay. So then this tells us kind of what we might want to target for. There's a few other different aspects that you want to do, but this is sort of the basics of finding out where are you kind of in this ecosystem of Google search. Because Google, one of the reasons why people love Google search is because it shows so much intent. If somebody is searching for something, they're probably looking for something. So which means, and if they're searching for something like Toronto marketing agency, they're probably looking in a large percentage of that search to buy. Obviously, there might be other ones, people doing research, or they're looking for a job, or there's other reasons why they might do that particular search. But this will tell us, okay, we're in position 68. We are on the map. We're nowhere near the center of the map. And we're definitely not getting much traffic, because very few people who are searching for marketing agency are going to go to the whatever 7th page there to see, oh, that's the one I wanted, right?
You never know, though.
I've done it, like, especially if I'm looking for something specific and I'm not quite happy with the results, I will go multiple pages in. So I have.
And that's, I mean, that is the benefit of a high volume keyword. This is 2,900 searches a month. Again, wouldn't expect much traffic from it, but with 2,900 searches a month, a certain number of people will go to page 7.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. No.
It could be a small percentage, but a certain percentage.
Okay, let's put it this way. A buyer is not going to go to page 7, in my opinion. Like, sure, it might happen on occasion, but a buyer is not going to go through pages and pages and pages and not find an agency that will kind of fit and say, okay, that person's like, in other words, you'd have to have a lot of crap for like 60, 70 agencies and other things way above, including the advertisers that are suddenly coming to the point of, oh, geez, we really wanted somebody that had a ladybug on their logo. Finally.
That's it.
You know, yeah, I'm going to just say, but there is a way to get to number 1. And in fact, because maybe we can we will extend this show a little bit longer, but one of the ways to get to number 1, maybe not from marketing agency as a keyword, because it's probably highly competitive and expensive, but one of the ways to get to number 1 is to just straight up advertise. And so depending on your business goals and your cash available, quite often I'll suggest start with advertising on Google for the keywords you think are relevant. Learn what's they're worth to you. So as this keyword marketing agency is worth $50 to me, or $200, or whatever it happens to be, and learn what the search engine, these keywords in Google especially, you can also do it in Bing, actually what value they'll bring. So put in a few $1,000 investment on a monthly basis to find that out. And then longer term, you work on the keywords that seem to be most valuable to you. And that's where you get into a lot of the search engine optimization stuff with your website and everything. You say, okay, we really want marketing agency. It's very valuable to us. Therefore, we're willing to spend on content and community outreach and social and blogging in order to bring it from 68 up to 3, 4, or 5. So quite often you start with advertising and then you get into this stuff. But if you don't have the budget, but you do have time, this stuff can be very valuable. Meaning,
if you have the time and you love to write.
You love to write. You love to connect with people. You love to do social. You love to perhaps do guest blog posts and other stuff on other websites and add value into the ecosystem. And then therefore, those are some of the things that you do to optimize your website so that Google thinks, yep, you're right. That's you should be up there for this particular keyword.
That's
all right. What do you want to show next?
So we could jump into, so the other tool I really like is.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Just one.
One more. We can do it.
So let's jump into the site audit. And so basically what that does is it gives you an overall assessment of how happy is Google with your website, right? And it breaks it down in terms of errors, warnings, and notices. Obviously, the most important one is going to be errors. These are things that are actively broken. So these are going to be like, server-side redirects, broken pages, all of those things that just don't work. And what's great is it gives you a report where you can then go through item by item. If you have a developer, share with your developer, and get fixed.
Okay. So what's your assessment here? So
what's our assessment of our page?
Yeah, I guess we're doing okay. We're doing okay. This is probably fairly typical. Obviously, we want to improve this, but so we have let's hit the 455 errors.
So if we dig into this,
yeah.
So we have 418 issues related to mixed content. And so what that means, if your website contains any elements that are not secured with HTTPS, this may lead to security issues.
Gotcha.
So again, concern over security, HTTPS protocol, all of that.
So that's where all of that stuff is coming from. So the neat thing about this is it's probably a small signal for Google. It is something that will cause a user experience challenge more so than something else. And it's probably, in this particular case, something that can be fixed in one place. So if we should get this over to the team, Arthur, because it probably can be fixed in one go. And then it's just cleared across the board. It's probably not causing us too many challenges, but these are the little things you can do to improve. It won't get us from 68 to page 5, but it might get us 68, 67 type thing, especially when you get to those lower numbers. There's probably a very small gap between you on page 5 and you on page 3, or maybe even page 2. Okay, cool. All right.
Next one here. So this is super interesting and so it's easily applicable. And I don't know about you, but I love those tools that are just super cut and dry in terms of like, here's what to fix, right?
Yeah.
So here it's done a scan and it's found internal broken links. So we had a link to this MMM Group Limited. That link has apparently been broken. And so this is flagging, okay, you have 10 URLs. Go in and update these with updated URLs. That's a super quick fix. Anybody can do that.
Perfect.
But
okay.
What I'll highlight here is if you have a really big site, you might not know that. It might be buried somewhere in your site and you have no idea. And this just helps to crawl through your site and be like, here's what to fix.
Yeah. And we have, especially if you have an older site, a site that's been around for a long time, in this particular case, we haven't necessarily maintained it. I mean, there's only 10, so it's not a lot. And those broken links will accumulate over time. You change something on one place, you don't realize that there is something else that's actually referencing that page, and you might delete it, remove it, edit it, change the URL of it, or you might be linking to external content, and that can also cause challenges. Okay, so let's summarize very quickly. SEM Rush, your first place that you would go to is just to sort of check out where are we ranking for keywords that we think are interesting. In your case, you also added where are we ranking for keywords that's actually bringing us traffic. And for that, you didn't look in SEM Rush, you looked at Google Search Console.
That's right.
Right? Just because you want to track what's going on here and just sort of get a sense of what's going on there. In many cases, it might look like garbage to you as far as actual value to your business. Why am I getting traffic for this? This is kind of weird. But it will tell you, what does Google actually think you're important for? And if there's a mismatch, change what you're doing on your website, because or see if there's a way you can capitalize on that particular traffic that's coming to you. And then the second thing is straight up site audit. Where are the errors? Where are the problems? What can I fix? Step 1, step 2. All right, dude.
Get that top spot.
All righty. So quick question from Mr. Blackmore. Seems expensive. Is it a tool that will make that money back? So the answer to that question always is, it completely depends where your business is at. If you are in the beginning stages and you're not generating a lot of income yet, I would actually put SEO aside as a thing that you technically want to concentrate on to start. I would focus on picking up the phone, making sales. That's where you go. What you can do as a beginning SEO thing, instead of using that tool, is write a lot of content.
Right.
Yes, put a lot of content on your website and get out there in the ecosystem, whichever your industry is, and talk with them. Go onto forums and communicate with people. Go onto social and communicate with people. Respond. Write articles on LinkedIn as well and publish it about your thing that you do. All that content will contribute in general to Google's impression about you in SEO. And then once you got your business kind of really going, and now you're looking for additional things like that, then you can get into how do I optimize this? But at the beginning, you want your content to live not just for the sake of Google search. You want it to live in terms of you and your ecosystem and getting out there and connecting with people and providing value. And then I would put this as secondary. So if SEM Rush is feeling kind of expensive, then the answer probably is don't do it yet, in my opinion. You got it?
Got it.
All right. Let's get into the out.
You've tuned in to COVID Marketing with Brent Kobayashi and Arthur Tutt, the show that supports small business not just to survive, but to thrive.
All right, and thank you for joining us to talk about the SEM Rush tool that we use. What interesting marketing tools are you using, or what problems are you looking to solve that there might be a tool that we can bring onto the show so that you can get whatever you need out of the show. All right, so on next week's show, we will be guest speakers again for the Toronto School of Management. Dude.
I had an idea.
You are not.
I had an idea.
No, what? What?
My brain was thinking of exciting things. Can I put you on the spot?
Okay, yeah, put me on, yeah.
So as a little thank you to Mr. David Blackmore, who's been following us so closely. So one of the things with SEM Rush is it allows you to monitor. It gives you a certain number of projects per your license. Mm-hmm. And I think we have an extra license. I was just wondering, should we hook up Mr. David Blackmore with get him on the project tracking?
Dude, yes, of course.
There you go, David. Let's talk.
What the answer is no. Jeez, dude, of course. The answer is of course. Even if you hadn't done this on the show, the answer is of course. So yes, love it. Let's throw him on.
All right, David, let's talk.
Let's figure out what he wants to, what he'd love to target for, and then it'll give him some really good ideas for content that he can put on his website and see how he's. Yeah, okay, love it. And then we can maybe go through it on a future show.
Let's do it. And
all right, dude. And so, okay, was that what the pause was, or is it because you really?
Yes, it was. I was having a brain explosion, and when you're just like you're so excited that just literally nothing comes out of your mouth. So what I was meant to say was, thank you everyone for watching, and have a wonderful Tuesday.